Welcome to the Hexagonal and Voxel tutorials. We need a few libraries that will be shared by both sets of tutorials. First up, we are going to create an extension class with common array functions. I call this class ArrayCommon. These will be generic, but that's not to say that tightly typing them down the line wouldn't be a good idea. Let's get going. Right click on your assets class folder. I'm using the same project used in the shader development. Nothing special in here. You can just start a standard 3D project for or inside of Unity. Right click on the assets folder, click create folder, call it scripts. Span that, right click inside of it, create another folder called common. Expand that, inside of it create a script called ArrayCommon. And double click on it to bring it up, or just hit enter and it should bring it up. We can go ahead and get rid of this mono behavior and get rid of the update in the start function. Alright, so these are all generic. We should put a static right here. And they can be used, this can be used anywhere. It's not just for game development. T is our generic type. We're going to pass in our array list, name list. We'll do a null check right here. If the list that we're passing in is null, our initial count is 0, else it will be equal to the length of the array. We'll declare a new array called the results. That will be our generic type, the count plus 1. We'll put an indexer, our indexer outside of our loop, and that will be explanatory in a moment. If our list is not equal to null, do a semicolon, our indexer less than our list.length, increment a list, our results, which is our new list, is equal to the current list of the same index. Since our indexer is outside of our loop, all we have to do is to add our new value to our list. Since this is a extension class and we are changing our array, we're creating a new array, we actually have to return the array. So if we were just changing the contents of this array, like say if it was a numeric array or a vertex array, UV array, whatever, if we were changing the content but not changing the structure of the array, we wouldn't actually have to return it, and we wouldn't have to pass it by this because we're just changing the content. In this case, and I believe that's true also with this parameter might change what I just said, but normally with an array, if you're just going to change the content of the array, not the structure of the array, you do not have to pass it by reference because the array is a reference, and you don't have to return the result. But in this case, we're actually changing the array itself. All right, next up, we're going to add an add range. Didn't click hard enough there. I didn't hold down my mouse key hard enough. Same thing, do a null check. If it's null, the initial length is 0, else it's equal to our length. I'm not going to do a null check here because I shouldn't be passing in a null for the values list. Once again, declare our indexer outside of our loop. But we will actually have two indexers this time. First, we copy our current array like we did before. Next, we're going to loop through what we're inserting, what we're adding. And we have to increment our main indexer because that is where we're setting it in the results. And just return our results. Not results, return our results. Now we're going to do a remove at. Like I said, these really, I would be bugged releasing production code that relied on performance with these without tightly defining them. But I know that some would do that. So that's okay. So if our list is null and we want to remove a value from it, that's not possible. So just return a new list. If the index that we want to remove is greater than our list length, we'll just return our list. Declare an indexer. If we get this far, the index we want to remove is inside of our list, unless there's something stupid like -1. Don't do that. And if our indexer is not equal to our index, set the value in our new array with the secondary indexer. I've got to remember to scroll up for the closed captioning. But if our values, if this n is not equal to the index we're removing, copy the value to our new array. Boom. Now we're going to insert before. I know a lot of tutorials will do these during the tutorial, but I just decided to get them out of the way. If our list is equal to null, or our index that we want to insert before is greater than or equal to our list length, return list.add our value, because there's nothing to insert before, or it's at the end of our list, our insert point, that is. Come on. If our n is equal to our value, since we're inserting before, go ahead and set our value to it and increment our indexer. And then go ahead and copy the current value and return our results. All right. Now we have to do insert after, and that's really simple. It's insert before, but copy this afterwards. Boom. That is it for ArrayCommons. Not that bad for 10 minutes. You can take this farther. You can insert after a full list of things, insert before a full list of things, etc. Remove a list after a certain location. You can have shift in here, but we don't need those for these tutorials right now. So remember to subscribe if you're getting something out of these tutorials. And I'll see you in the next video. Or actually, you'll just hear me.